Father gave them to me. Aren't they lovely? They used to sparkle so in the sunlight. My name is Betty Brown, and I've been coming to the Edwards place since I can remember. My father, John T. Stuart, was Mr. Edwards' law partner for 40 years. They became law partners in 1843, when I was 5 years old, the same year the Edwards moved into this house. Before that, my father's law partner was Abraham Lincoln. Why, Mr. Lincoln's known me since I was a baby. He used to come visit Mother and me when Father was away at Congress. When I was about 1.5 years old, Mr. Lincoln wrote my father and said I was a tolerably nice fellow now. What an odd thing to say. He later married Mary Todd, one of Father's cousins. Elizabeth Edwards, another of Father's cousins, is Mary Todd's sister. This is her portrait, next to her husband, Ninian. And this is their old horsehair sofa. Oh, I remember it well. It used to sit in the parlor. When I was a teenager, I went to the Monticello Female Seminary in Godfrey to school. Helen Edwards was there at the same time. The younger Helen, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Edwards' daughter. Oh, we had a grand time. And when I returned to Springfield, I had a grand time as well. I had many suitors, but on October 20th, 1859, I finally married Christopher Columbus Brown. Mr. Lincoln was trying cases in Coles County at the time, and he rode all the way back to Springfield just to come to our wedding. He and Mrs. Lincoln gave us a silver-plated coffee urn for a present from Chatterton's. Chris, my husband, was a lawyer. Mr. Lincoln examined him at the bar. A few months after we were married, Chris joined my father in Mr. Edwards' law firm, and it became Stuart, Edwards, and Brown. Chris and I had 3 boys. Guess what we named the first 2? Well, Stuart and Edwards, of course, after Father and Mr. Edwards. The 3rd boy we named Paul. I have to admit, I was a little disappointed. I had hoped Paul would be a girl, but Chris said he was a splendid baby. And when I held him, I wouldn't have given Paul for 100 girls. But I wouldn't live to see Paul or any of my children grow up. In February 1869, I was struck with dysentery. And after being ill for 12 days, it was clear I wasn't going to get better. So I made my own burial arrangements. I sent messages to my friends and relatives. And without struggle, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on March 2nd, 1869, I died. They said my last words were, "Come, Lord Jesus, come quickly." And that's what they inscribed on my tombstone. I'm buried at Oak Ridge Cemetery. Is that Nettie Campbell in the next room? I think she's waiting to speak with you. Thank you for dropping by.